Carol Costello, thanks for joining us. Stories we're watching right now in the newsroom. As you can see, opening bell just rang on Wall Street. The Dow poised to extend its winning streak. Allison Cossack is at the New York Stock Exchange. Give us the scoop.
Well, this winning streak, gosh, you look at it, it's 8 days in the making. Yesterday, the Dow eked out another record-setting day, Carol, just 2 points higher, but that's all it took. But knowing that the Dow barely ended in positive territory, it looks like investors may be ready to take a bit of a breather today. You see stocks starting mixed, slightly lower. But what a winning streak it's been. You know, it's the longest winning streak since 2011. So what's Wall Street watching today? New retail sales numbers that came out this morning. We learned that retail sales jumped more than 1% in February. Looks like consumers spent more on gas and bought cars, but they spent less at the mall. But it looks like the consumer is still holding up, still spending money, even with higher taxes. We will see if that good news maybe gives stocks a bit more of a boost, because it's not going anywhere right now, Carol.
All right, we'll get back to you. Allison Cossack live at the New York Stock Exchange. Political Buzz is your rapid-fire look at the best political topics of the day. 3 topics, 30 seconds on the clock. Playing with us today, CNN senior political analyst and editorial director for the National Journal, Ron Brownstein, and CNN contributor and Democratic strategist, Maria Cardona. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Okay, first topic. Most Americans would say a balanced budget is a good thing. In fact, previous presidents have made it central to their agendas, among them Ronald Reagan.
I think that what we're going to have and what I want to strive for is an amendment to our Constitution that requires the government every year to balance the budget.
Then, in 1997, Bill Clinton signed a balanced budget amendment into law, saying it represented, quote, an historic compromise. But it is a different story in today's Washington, where Democrats are blasting a Republican plan to balance the budget in 10 years. President Obama says it's not just about the dollars and cents.
My goal is not to chase a balanced budget just for the sake of balance. My goal is, how do we grow the economy, put people back to work? And if we do that, we're going to be bringing in more revenue. If we've controlled spending and we've got a smart entitlement package, then potentially what you have is balance, but it's not balance on the backs of, you know, the poor, the elderly, students who need student loans, families who've got disabled kids. That's not the right way to balance our budget.
Democrats are set to unveil their proposal today, one that is likely dead on arrival with their colleagues across the aisle, as in Republicans. So our question to you, is a balanced budget important or not? Ron?
Well, look, it's an aspiration that we've honored mostly in the breach. Ronald Reagan may have talked about it, but the budget has only been balanced 3 or 4 years since 1969 at the end of the Bill Clinton administration, and we instantly blew that up with large tax cuts and the creation of the Medicare prescription drug benefit. Balancing the budget is a moral or ideological statement. From an economic point of view, what economists focus on is stabilizing the debt as a share of the overall economy, so the debt is not growing faster than the economy. That's the realistic goal that both sides are probably pointing at now.
Maria?
Yeah, I completely agree with Ron. It is idealistically a good idea, but I completely agree with the president that it shouldn't be done just for the sake of doing it. Look, if you look at a family and you look at the things that families need to get done, and a family in debt, they could balance their budget in a minute if they decide not to send their kids to college, or if they decide not to give their grandparents the health care that they need. Is that smart? Absolutely not. We need to do it with a focus on investing in our future, making sure that the middle class is educated, is healthy, and is robust. That's the way to do it.
All right, on to question number 2. Ending gun violence in America through higher taxes. That is the idea behind a House Democratic bill led by California Congresswoman Linda Sanchez. It calls for an additional 10% tax on sales of concealable firearms, with the extra money going to fund gun buyback and safety programs. Supporters say the legislation would get unwanted guns off the streets, but critics say the plan punishes law-abiding gun owners while doing nothing at all to deter criminals. So our question, will raising taxes on gun sales target the wrong people? Maria?
Well, I don't know if this particular legislation will work, Carol, but what I like about it is that they are putting everything on the table in terms of trying to solve the issue of gun violence in this country, which is critical. Now, should we focus on this? I don't think that raising taxes is going to keep anybody that wants a gun from buying a gun, but I think we should maybe focus on other things also that have more bipartisan support, like the background checks and focusing on real solutions. I like that this continues to be a part of the debate because we need to continue to put everything on the table.
Ron.
Yeah, the real point of this is that we've had over a decade of silence about gun issues after Al Gore's defeat, and Democrats concluding that was a big portion of it. So it is important that all of these issues are being debated, but I think this is going to be a very polarizing idea. I could see some blue states advancing it. Very difficult beyond that.
Okay, the final question. Your buzzer beater, 20 seconds on the clock. Outrage, indignation, unrest, and it's all because of this. The Cool Ranch Doritos Tacos Locos, Taco Bell's much anticipated sequel to a menu favorite, causing a social media frenzy after customers were unable to find it at their local Taco Bell restaurants. Last year, Taco Bell was so overwhelmed by the response to the Cool Ranch's cousin, the original nacho cheese Doritos taco, that it reportedly hired 15,000 additional workers. Who needs Washington when you can have a job-creating taco? As the people at the Daily Beast ask, can this taco save America, Ron?
Wait, go back, Carol, go back to question one. The concern about the deficit, largely driven about healthcare costs. Why are healthcare costs rising? A big part of it is the way that we live and the lifestyle choices we make. It is a very difficult issue. People are reluctant to be pushed on what they eat or consume or exercise, but ultimately that is part of the solution on our healthcare issues and the long-term federal budget as well. I hate to say it.
Ooh, Maria.
But it's creating jobs. Look, Taco Bell is looking to open 2,000 additional stores this year because of the Doritos Locos taco. Now, look, I will say this. This is for the GOP advice. This is not the way to reach out to the Latino community. Don't start serving Doritos Locos tacos at your events. Underline that.
I actually believe that President Obama, when he meets with House Republicans today, should bring some of those tacos. It might work.
There you go. Everybody loves them, Carol.
Exactly. They are good. Ron Brownstein, Maria Cardona, thanks for playing today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Parents, do you want your son sleeping in a tent with a gay 15-year-old? That's what the Boy Scouts of America wants to know. And wait until you hear what else is on the Boy Scouts News Survey.
After my accident, I had serious pain, so I used Salonpas. It's the strongest labeled pain reliever available without a prescription. Salonpas is serious relief against mild to tougher, moderate pain for up to 12 full hours.